Tycoon on the beat.
Where's the Kim? Well, how you doing, Advocate Gina? I'm Sunny.
I was muted. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Nice to meet you, Sunny.
Nice to meet you too. Always a pleasure meeting somebody new on the show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Kim having technical difficulties today.
It seems that way. I'm trying to figure this out. This is my first time on StreamYard, so
It must be a really good message coming from today.
I'm sorry.
It must be a really good message coming today.
Must be. Listen.
We usually have
excited.
technical difficulties when we got a good message coming.
I get that. So I can't tell if it is. Let me check on my phone.
Yeah, she's definitely having technical difficulties, but it's all right. We're gonna get it back together. Eric, can you open that door for me? She not gonna know who you are. You're not gonna know who she is, but she's cool. It's one of the kids' mom.
Thank you for joining.
There we go. Hey, Kim.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I had to back out. I ended up doing something today. Look what I did.
Baby mama. Baby mama. Why it smell like cucumber?
Do you see it?
No,
Look at
she
she paid attention. Simpatico.
What'd you do? I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm crying. Say you had to get her on the stream one way or another. That's funny.
But anyway, so today we're going to talk about the invisible woman. So
right, this is literally our token invisible woman.
For real, it is. So when you hear invisible woman, simpatico, what do you think? Simpatico.
Invisible woman. I don't know. It could be taken different ways. I stay out the way. I call myself the invisible woman. I'm out the way.
Okay. Gina, when you hear invisible woman, what is your take on it?
So my thought has always been that we as Black women are invisible. So when when I think of Black women, I feel that we've been discarded, disregarded, underrepresented, and we're not seen. We're not seen. We're not heard.
What do you think of
So I'm actually able to talk today. So when I think of the invisible woman, my take on it is that it can be taken two ways. It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It's always a bad thing when it's under the scope of just being protected. And like she said, just not take, very much so taken for granted. Because we do so much and we pour so much into this world and into people via kids and adults that we just shortchanged all the time. And then sometimes it's good to be that invisible woman because there's so many people that you know that want to take that glow and that light from you and use it for their benefit and their good and don't mean you any good at all. So it can be taken so many ways, but it's time for us to step up and show out.
And what I got a take on that too. See, I talked to a gentleman. I talked to a gentleman about what his take was on the invisible woman, and he said, "Quote me, because this ain't my take, and please, this ain't my words." But he was like, "I wish they would, because I went to a job interview one time, and there was a white man, there was two black women, and myself. They all got the nod except for me, and they hired the black woman in this factory job over me because their appeal." This is coming from a man. He thinks that the reason why women get treated a certain way is because they're being appealing to someone. So that's why they're getting,
Sexualized.
yeah.
For sure.
And he said that that's why they hire you in positions that you don't belong in.
Absolutely. It absolutely is an appearance thing.
Uh-huh.
I can get a woman in my company who has a certain stature, certain standard, never mind the educational part.
Yeah.
Never mind her tenacity. She might not even have it. But yet I'm still going to hire her because of her appearance.
Yeah.
And he had every right to feel like that.
And that's what he said. He said,
Yeah.
I wish they would. He said, because honestly, they talk about, and this is his take, because I don't know, but he's like, they talk about wanting a good man and stuff like that, but yet when a good man is out there doing that every single day, getting judged every single day, doing what he has to do to come home, and yet this is a man take though, and yet when he does come home, he doesn't have peace because he's still fighting with them, yet he just fought the whole world. And he said, and I don't know why they want to fight so much, because they could just allow the man to take care of them and do the thing they have to do. And they can just, I don't know. It was a whole man's perspective on the whole situation. I know that though, if we go to a car dealership as a woman, if you go to a car dealership, you don't get a car sold to you properly. They're going to try to scandal you or try to lowball you or try to sell you a lemon because you don't know no better. If
Well,
you go
yes,
to,
that's how it's perceived, that we don't
yeah,
know better.
Yep.
exactly, because they don't realize I know a lot about cars, and they wouldn't think that by looking at me that I know a lot about cars. I don't know what it's like to be a black woman, but I know what it's like to be a woman. And I get judged as a woman because I have ethers and because I only surround myself around certain people. And it's not because I'm picking a race to surround myself around. I'm picking an image to surround myself around, a higher standard of thinking. I won't surround myself with someone that doesn't realize they're a queen, that doesn't realize how what they bring to the world, what they are. I only surround myself around women that know that they are core of the universe and that they are special. If you cannot be intelligent, I can't surround myself around you.
So I have a question. So going back to what you were saying about the man, what the man was saying, like how he goes out in the world, and I've heard this for so long, that and I agreed that our black men are out here fighting battles every day, and they got to deal with the world and everything, and then they want to find peace in their home. But are you saying that? I mean, what point were you making? How does that apply to the invisible woman? I'm trying to understand what the correlation is.
I don't know. I was telling him that I was going to do a subject on that, and he said, I wish they would. And that was his response.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't have an overstanding on how another individual thinks, let alone an opposite sex than I don't have the same struggles. I don't have the same mindset. I didn't go through the same trials and tribulations that they did. So I can't relate to why they think the way they think.
Okay. How many
I was just
women do we?
giving you
Oh,
no, I apologize. I was just giving you what he said. It didn't reply to me. I was just saying that that's what he told me.
okay. Yeah. So I was wondering if it applies to the topic today, because I was just trying to
Just the
understand the correlation between the two, or how
just the
one.
fact that that women are judged by how they look, not by who they are. That's what it goes with. That's how I was using it, because he said that it's a appeal. They're only hired because of how they look, not because of what they carry, not because of their stature, not because they're qualified. That's what he said. So that's what it's about. The invisible woman. She's not looked at her mindset. She's not looked at her education. She's not looked at what she's been through to go to be in this stature that she's in. She's only looked because of how she looks.
So let me ask you: do you feel, as a Caucasian woman, do you feel like an invisible woman?
I do.
You do?
I do.
How so?
I know that I have more chances of getting something and I don't want to say getting away, but I have more of a leniency of being
You have more privilege.
yes, yes, in this society, yes. In the natural of the most high, no, I don't believe that. But in this society, yes.
Okay. So my my take, like, I mean, going back to what I was saying and what I believe the invisible woman is, I feel like as black, to me, I feel like we are the epitome of the invisible woman. You know, like, and we have to wear this badge of being angry. And of course we're angry. We've been raped, we've been stolen from, we've been disregarded. Our men are going for other cultures, other they want the exotic, or they want anything but a black woman. Our men are treating us like we're the bottom of the barrel. We've been conditioned to believe that we're not worthy of being loved. We're not worthy of being paid what a man or a white woman is being paid. We've just been conditioned to feel like we're less than every other race, culture, gender, sex. I mean, even gender identity. A man can come in and say that he identifies as a woman and be named Woman of the Year. Make that make sense to me. We're less than every other culture, gender, and gender identity. As a black woman, we are just seen as less than, and we have to accept that this is what we've been conditioned to believe. So if we raise our voices, now we're the angry black woman because we're not being heard if we don't raise our voice. And now we're being gaslit and being told that we're the one that's wrong, because now we have to be seen, like, going back to being sexualized, and we have to dress a certain way to get some attention, to get attention. Make that make sense to me, because we're invisible any other way. We're not seen, we're not heard, we're not taken seriously in the workplace, we're not taken seriously in society. you know we this is what we've been conditioned to believe and to think about ourselves.
I think this has been going on for a while. I think this is a generational thing. This ain't
Hmm.
something new. This has been passed on and passed on and passed on, and I don't think it's getting any better.
No, not at all.
That is absolutely true.
And it's sad that I get the whole I don't know, food chain, if you would. It's not even that, but the pyramid of life. I get that. I get what our position in life is. But as a teacher, as a nurturer, as a bringer of peace and whatnot, you have to be respected, I think, also.
Absolutely, I agree. But where does that happen? Where do we find that respect? Because when we assert ourselves and we demand that respect, then we're looked down on. And it's like it sucks because we're told that we're not good enough, but everyone, our culture is so appropriated by every other culture, every other ethnicity, every other what's the word I'm looking, well, we'll go with ethnicity. They're everyone, I mean, they take from us what was created by us, our vernacular, our colloquialisms, our hair, our style, our, just they take it all from us and claim it as their own. But they tell us that we're not good enough to, I mean, okay, in your instance, we're not good enough to wear our dress, or, we go into the workplace and, it's frowned upon if we're wearing natural hair, or if we don't acclimate to European cultures, or we just we're just made to feel like we can't embrace our own culture and be proud of who we are, and we can't be accepted, you know
I
but
do. Mhm.
I mean, it's just we're not seen in society.
I think it's gonna really take some stepping up because the generation of big mamas and real grandmothers and things of that nature is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays we got the turn up queens and the twerk queens and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So when it comes to actually having to instill, even if it's just someone who's wanting to listen and understand like what it's gonna take to break generational curses and things of that nature, we're gonna have to go back and get them. I mean, I'm just being
Absolutely.
honest, and it's gonna start with your own kids too, because if you don't, this world is going to hell in a handbasket. And I'm just being honest.
Agreed.
Like real talk, because I know I'm from the hood, born and raised, Detroit East Side. And one thing I can say is when I had my aunts and things like that around, they didn't play that. I wish you
At all.
would.
Mm-hmm. We had
I
that
wish you
village.
I wish you would be in the same room when it's adults in a room talking.
Oh,
You better immediately excuse yourself.
absolutely.
Matter of
Absolutely.
fact, matter of fact, don't even cross the threshold, ma'am or sir.
Mm-hmm.
And all that what and huh? No.
Oh, yes, right? What happened to yes, ma'am, yes,
Yes,
sir?
ma'am.
What?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Things of that nature. It's like now. It's like if you say something like that to a kid in high school, it's like what? Who she talking to? Who she thinks she is?
Calling teachers
Even
by their first name?
yes.
We didn't
Hey,
do
Miss.
that.
They don't even say Miss. They just be like, Hey, yo. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I was a
Yes.
school bus driver for a long time, and I have dealt with all kind of kids. So you see and hear so much, and you just like, wow. I had a kid coming to me one time and was like, Miss Crystal, because you're gonna address me as such.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they was like, Miss Crystal, My mama was cussing my daddy out and told my daddy he ain't shit. I said, first of all, watch your mouth and mind your business.
That part.
Cause ain't no way on this green earth you should have been coming out that door talking about what your mama, your daddy did. None of that.
That part.
Watch your mouth. And I'm telling.
And I'm telling.
I'm telling.
I think that goes all the way around though, because I tell my grandson that all the time. What goes on the house stays on the house, and my grandson has to show respect. I think it's about just who you are as character, what character you hold for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to represent yourself as a strong, independent woman? It has fact of that, you're looked upon and that you don't, it's passed on and there's no grandmas and whatnot. It's the fact of that nobody instills values no more. Nobody really wants to
There's no
push that.
value. None.
None. And nobody instills that no more into the youth. And
That's it.
nobody lets them know, because I told my grandson the other day when I was speaking to him, and I was like, I am the smartest person you'll ever know. If you want to question that, question me. And he was like, okay, I believe you. But the thing is that you got to let them know when they're young, though, that everybody else is here because you allowed it to happen. In the whole house, I was the one that allowed that to happen, because if I didn't have my son, then he wouldn't have you. And that's what I instilled in him. But like, I think that the respect is no longer there because people stop respecting themselves.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
they were never taught it. They were never taught.
That too.
That too.
That too.
That too. Okay, she's backstage.
That is absolutely true. We rather go out. I'm not gonna say that it's not okay to have your fun and things of that nature, but at the same time, like certain stuff should never be done around kids. Period.
Agreed. Agreed.
Like it's a time and a place for that conversation to be had, like the do's and the don'ts and things of that nature, sex wise, and there should be no way that a kid should be able to come from home and tell me as a bus driver, Miss Crystal, I know what a condom is,
Oof.
or you know what I'm saying, just know certain stuff that got anything to do with adulthood.
My grandson's come to me the other day, and blessings, Katana.
Hey, how are you guys?
Blessed
Oh,
and highly
good.
favored. You see, I had to get Crystal with me.
Yes, I see. I love that. Finally.
I said, we want to hear you be heard. I said, and if you can't be heard, I'm going to make sure that you're heard.
That's right. That's right. So, can I jump in here? Because I kind
Yeah,
of
tell
heard
me about
something.
an invisible woman. What do you think about the invisible woman?
The invisible woman.
That's what the
Who
topic's
is?
about.
Oh, the invisible woman. Okay, so what's the backstory on that? What are we talking about?
Being a strong black woman that's invisible and not seen in society.
Oh, that's not me. I can't tell you about something that I'm not, because I'm seen and I'm heard and I'm felt everywhere. So I can't tell you about the invisible woman. But I did
Do
want to
you?
touch base. I did want to touch base on the children, to children being exposed and having conversations that they're not ready for. That's what I jumped in on. I'd like to
Yeah,
expound on that.
I do. I want to hear that too. I was just wondering, did you have to get to that point where you are today? Was it hard to get to that point to who you are today, or did it come by you easily?
No, that's just naturally in me.
Okay.
I think that's just naturally in me. A lot of people tell me that they feel me before they even see me, and
Okay.
then when they meet me, they tell me that they felt me through the app, through the blue app, through the Instagram, through the TikTok, through the conversation with someone else. But I wanted to talk about exposure because
Yeah. Go ahead.
not necessarily children are being exposed at home. My daughter comes home with stuff that she's exposed to from school, from the school bus,
Exactly.
from
Yeah.
YouTube, from from the different things that she comes in contact with. Everybody's household is not the same, and everyone relates to their children differently. Once
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that my daughter is age appropriate for certain conversations, but if she presents those conversations to me, I'm going to give her the best that I can to be age appropriate, but also educate her. I can't have her with other seventh graders and eighth graders getting her information from them because God knows who they got their information from. So
Thanks.
I've been in a situation, several of them, where I had to talk about things I wasn't ready to talk about her. With her, I had to because she had the wrong information. I wasn't ready for her to tell me the things that she told me. I wasn't ready for her to talk about being bisexual or liking boys and girls and you know, being flexible and fluid. And I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, she doesn't have Facebook, she doesn't have social media, she's not allowed to have that. But her friends are. And her friends are introducing her to things that I'm not ready for her to know. So the
Mm-hmm.
exposure, once you know that your child is exposed to something, it's up to you to educate them the best way that you can. It's up to you
Yeah.
to give them the information that you want them to move forward with. Because if you
Yep.
don't, they're gonna be like the other little kids, just you know, making waves. So um, at home though, if you are not moving in a household full of love and there's chaos and toxicity, that's what your child is going to grow to know. So be mindful of
Yep.
what you showing them and what you do. I mean, as a D type, as a dominant female, I don't have one instrument in my home. Everything is in my dungeon. That's not to say that she hasn't seen me get dressed to go to an event and has an eyebrow up or whatever, but I don't expose her to
She just blinked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You're
thought that was
froze,
just
Katana.
me.
You're not froze, but you're muted. I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Like
But that
Gina.
happens a lot to us. She might have to go back and come back.
Can she hear us?
No, probably not.
Probably so.
I don't know. She's gonna go back out and come back in though. That's probably what she'll have to do. It happens a lot with signals. Anyway, so I agree with her completely. Uh, my grandson walked up to me, and I know this is off topic a little bit, but my grandson walked up to me when he first got here to my son's house, and he was like, I nope, she's still talking. Uh-uh. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to remove her and have her come back. She's not muted. Let her come back in. But my grandson walked up to me and told me that he was bisexual at 9, and he don't even know what that means. And I was like, what are you saying? And he was like, well, I have friends that are girls and friends that are guys, and I like them both. Dude, please, just be a kid. Why are you worried about anything else but besides being a kid?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is because his mom raised him because she didn't have the proper raising as a mom, but she raised him to be she didn't go out, but she raised him to be like her friend. She told him information that he shouldn't know. She explained things to him. So much sadness. My son was a kid. I didn't allow him to have adult conversations. He wasn't involved in adult stuff.
I just feel like when it comes back to the invisible woman, and this goes to other women too, that we become so wrapped up in the stigmas of today that we choose to climb on the backs of other women, downgrade them in order to be seen. So
Yeah.
I'd rather make her invisible
Yeah.
to be seen. One thing's for sure and two things are for certain. I've always been the type, I don't have to be seen because I'm already gonna be seen because of my presence,
Yeah.
the positivity that I push out, the narrative that I have. I don't have I want to say malicious intent for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted though.
I think though that I do
Still can't hear
see
her.
I do see how stereotypes have been passed on, and I don't know. I still can't hear her, so just trying to communicate.
We can't hear you. No. Can read your lips though. No, I can't read that now.
That's why I kept pointing in my ear for her. Like I can't hear you.
I just said no, ma'am. Hopefully she gets that what that means.
We just need to do
But
better.
yeah, I do believe though that it may be here she goes.
How
There you
about
go.
now? You good now? You got
Yes,
me?
Can't hear
yes,
you.
Okay.
yes.
Sorry, guys. We're moving
That's
around.
all right.
Usually I'm in the house when the podcast starts, but I'm outside today.
But yeah, no, I think that though, and I don't mean this lightly because I don't know what it's like, so I can't say that this is exactly how it is. But to feel that you don't matter and that you aren't looked upon, it has to be overcome within yourself in a mindset. You have to change that outlook. You can't change society, but if you change how you see things, then you can have your world around you change.
But can
That's just my opinion. Yeah, yeah, I think you can. And I'm not saying this as just a Caucasian woman. I'm saying this as a woman in general because as a woman, I am too called upon and talked about. I'm talked about because I have ethers. I'm talked about because and they say I'm trying to misappropriate culture and stuff like that, and that's not even
no
it. Or I'm
appropriate
trying to
black culture?
yeah, or I'm trying to vulture or something, and none of that's the case. The thing is, I did a bunch of research and studies before I went and did this for myself, and it was a healing thing. I actually saved my life by having my ethers. I'm not calling them dreadlocks. I'm not calling them nothing. They are ethers to me. They are energy antennas. They are a part of my soul. They are a piece of me. I'm not doing it for others. I wear my head covered not because I don't want people to see my hair. I wear my head covered because I'm protecting my third eye, my own crown. I'm protecting my inner being, my pineal gland. So I mean, for people to think that it's another reason, that's okay. I don't care how people see me. At the end of the day, those that know me. Those that won't, that don't, won't. So it's not my problem
Yeah.
because my intent is pure and genuine. I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm trying to be like me.
Kim, I
Yes.
will say so. Actually, when I first met you, I didn't really have much of an opinion. I wanted to see where you were coming from. I wasn't sure what box you were gonna come out of. So I gave you a chance. And from the first time you and I actually sat down and talked, I felt your heart. You've always come across as genuine. You've always come across as genuine.
Yeah.
It was a different look when I saw you, and I'm like, okay, Yeah, let me see where she come. You know, but you never came at me like you were trying to be black, you know, and honestly, I've never even got the trying to appropriate the culture, you know, from you. I used you as an example because you have dreads, but I never got that you were trying to appropriate the culture. There are some things that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with it, but we've discussed that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
But you've always come across as a genuine person.
Yep.
Now, when you see a Caucasian woman with dreads who likes to use the N word, I've never heard you use that. That would be a problem for me.
I
That would
wouldn't
be a
do it
problem
either.
for
I have
me.
respect for myself.
But so you see a Caucasian woman using the N word, or just looking like an idiot, thinking that this is what Black culture is about. You know that. The saggy pants or whatever the case may be, speaking ebonics, and I have a problem with that, because is that
That
really how you see us?
that
That's not how we
annoys
are.
me so bad.
Yeah, that doesn't represent a black woman, a black person, black culture. That, you're not representing us, and you're trying to appropriate the culture, but you're getting it wrong. That's not how we are.
Absolutely.
I'm listening to
Absolutely.
everyone speak on here, and no one's using slang and ebonics, and they don't. We know how to speak. We know how to present ourselves well, but when someone is appropriating our culture and making us look like we're all shameless idiots, that's a problem for me.
Absolutely.
The
So
thing
I
is
never
though,
got that vibe from you.
so
Never.
the thing is though, when I approach a woman, when I approach somebody, I approach them with strength, and I only surround my like I said, I only surround myself around strong, independent women, strong women. If I see you weak, I will come at you and be like, hey, I did it to Katana, I did it to Crystal. I'll come at you and I'll be like, this is a moment of weakness within you, and I don't see you of this. You need to remove yourself from whatever situation you're in and get your strength back.
Okay, heard,
That that's
respected. But can you receive that same message?
Yes, yes, I told you I
Can
can
you?
because that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right. That's true. Yeah. Things been
Receive.
different
Message
recently.
received.
That's what I'm doing now.
Yep.
And,
You
and, and,
can't get,
it,
yeah.
and I have to do it now because at the end of the day, I can't continue this like this because this is not of me and it doesn't represent what I represent because I represent strength and love and unity.
You have been saying that lately. Okay.
And
Thank you,
I
being
am
heard.
also heard and I'm also felt before I'm even seen. I knew Katana before Katana knew Katana. Like we embraced each other right away. And I was like, I know you, I see you, I talk to the universe, I felt you. She received me the same way. Same thing with Crystal. If Crystal's slacking, I'll tell her, I'll be like, I ain't playing with you. You got to get your shit together. I apologize for my language, but I tell her, you got to get your stuff together. I can't surround myself around you, and I'm not playing because I only surround myself around strong beings because that's how I get enlightened. That's how I get fused. That's how I reciprocate the energy when I'm around strength.
So,
That's how I
ladies, what?
refuel myself.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what do you ladies do? Katana and Crystal.
So I was a school bus driver for 17 years, and now I am a city of Detroit worker. I drive for the city, and
Okay.
I'm also a business owner.
Okay. What
J.
kind of business?
So I make candles, body butter, body oil, and soap.
Okay.
I wish you would have started off with that because that's what you are. Just the little things on the side is what you do.
What I do is I'm a driver. What
That's
I
right.
am is a business owner.
There you go. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
good to know your identity, what
Thank
defines you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you.
Katana, what do you do? Who are you?
I am also a business owner. I am also an educator in the BDSM community. Create a safe space for those on their prospective journeys. Uh, I wear a couple of different hats. I'm a transportation coordinator, operations manager of a transportation company as well. Um, so the multi facets
Mhm.
of the different types of people that I deal with every day uh, really puts me in a space to be strong, to be what they need me to be. And a lot of times being strong all the time, that really takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on
Sure.
anyone, man or woman. Where do you
Yeah.
get to just be? What space is there for you to just operate? And you always talk about your feminine side. You're always talking about being in your softness and operating in your softness. And so a lot of times that's foreign to me because I'm always expected to delegate. I'm always expected to make decisions and solve people's problems, you know. But the burden that I carry for myself is heavier than anything that I could carry for anyone else. I'm connected to a lot of resources, a lot of people, a lot of different things. This, you know, I make it work. I make it work, and I never will complain about having too much on my plate when all I wanted to do was eat. But now I'm transitioning out of survival mode, and that is really churning me like butter, But I'm here for it. I want all
Smooth, baby.
She is.
that.
So, Gina, tell everybody what you are, who you are, not what you are. Who are you?
I'm me,
Me,
No,
Gina.
simply.
No.
Simple. Simple.
What are you? No, no, she's not. She's a lot. She's just downplaying herself.
um. Wow. So identity has been a topic of discussion and something that I've been really searching for a couple of years now because my identity has for so long been linked to my partner, who I'm with at the time. So I've really been trying to figure out who exactly am I. First and foremost, I am unapologetically Christian, follow Christ, um, unapologetically. Um, Second to that, I am an advocate, servant. I am unapologetically submissive. I own that. I love that about myself. I don't feel like I have to stand, shout, scream, dance, put myself on a soapbox to be heard. Um, I'm okay with playing supporting roles, and the reason I'm okay with playing the supporting role is because I shine regardless without even having to or even wanting to. A lot of times I'm not even trying to shine. I don't want to shine, so I I'm okay with that. I am a servant. I love serving. I love helping. Um that's who I am. So um I am I'm a Christian counselor. So I work with victims and survivors of domestic and sexual abuse, and my role is to empower mainly women, but I would help anyone. But my clients are mainly women, and I empower them to recover after emotional or narcissistic abuse.
I
So
got a question for you.
sure.
You said you have struggled with your individual identity because you've often associated that with the person that you were with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So As you grow through each one
I'm
of
going.
those situations, each one of those relationships, do you feel that you're different as you grow through those instances?
I do now, but I found myself attaching myself to the same type of men over and over and over again.
Just with a different face. Same person,
Exactly.
different face.
Yeah, different name, different face. Exactly. So
So my
I
question to you is
mhm.
your name and your face the same as you've grown through each one of those relationships? Have you changed your name?
My last name.
No,
Nope,
your first name.
your first name.
Actually, you know what? That's so funny. No one's ever asked me that.
Ooh,
I've
that was
shortened
deep.
my
That
name.
was deep.
Christian needs to.
That
I've
was
never thought
deep.
about it. I've never thought about it, but
Okay,
yeah, I've
so
shortened my
the,
name.
I recognize
She
that
did.
behavior because I once associated myself the same way. And once I left the partner, once I left that partnership, once I left that relationship, I was no longer that person anymore. So that person had to die and a new person had to be born and move forward into your next steps of your journey. So
Rebirth.
I'm not telling you that your rebirth is definitely necessary. I'm not telling you you have to change your name, but I'm telling you I've changed my name, and it definitely helps you.
She shortened her name. She changed her name from what it was to shorten it.
Hmm.
Okay,
That's a spiritual thing too, though. But I believe that because
absolutely,
that's word. That's word. That we become a new creation in Him. You
absolutely.
know, and
Oh
to,
wow.
to even further that, one of the things that I found myself doing, actually going back to what you were saying, Crystal, about in the household, and I believe you touched on it too, Kim, about things being, kids coming out and saying things that's going on in their household that they shouldn't repeat. One of the problems I had is not knowing what needed to be said, because I felt like I was betraying my household by keeping everything in the house. Some things, you need to go ahead and talk to somebody about.
Right. Right.
But
Yep.
so when just thinking about becoming a new creation and becoming a new person, I actually lost my train of thought. I'm trying to get back to it, to be honest. But that's what I had to do. I had to become a new creation and not wanting to preach or whatever. This isn't the platform, and I don't preach anyway. That's just not my thing, or not my office. But I agree that we need to, we, in order to elevate, in order to grow, we have to, let that old person die and embrace, that new person and learn who we are, and relearn. So it's been a process for me, just relearning, and just kind of trying to figure out who I am, what my actual identity is. I always go back to who God says I am. I'm light, I'm precious, I'm a child of the king, I'm royalty. I embrace these things. And it really, a lot of the things that you say, Kim, really resonates, because it for me it's more of a spiritual Christian thing. I the things that you say, you don't say that, you say from the most high, or from, I'm light and love, and things of that nature. Or but for me, it's God called me precious, God called me love, God called me light, God called me queen, God called me his child. He says I'm royalty. So I embrace those same that same mindset, but I recognize it as what's been given to me from God, you know?
So do I though, but God is within me. God is not just outside of me. The Most High is every single thing that I touch, everything I breathe, everything that's around me. I am connected to as one from the Most High. So I do too. I'm just saying it is in me. not just outside of me. I don't say it's no other being, no other source. It is from the Most High. I don't believe in the whole thing of that God is only God when you see it. I breathe the air because I have God in me.
Heard.
I don't put it into just a steeple, and I'm not in His house. I'm in His house when I'm in myself. So
Heard.
I say it the same way you, for the same reasons. I don't pray to another being. I don't pray to another source. I pray to the Most High within self. I pray into the fact that the trees, to the wind, to the sand, to the water are all the Most High. I don't limit it to one thing. I limit it to the whole universe of the Most High.
Heard.
But I'm not downplaying how you see it. I mean, you're comfortable with who you are and how you see things. And I explained to you before, I'm different with you than I am with others. I'm strong with her because she needs strength. I'm strong with Katana because she exudes strength. I'm more submissive with you because you exude a submissive side. And you have the strength because you don't really show it often.
Heard.
But being invisible is a mind state. You can't control things around you at all. How society is, this is how society is going to be. How do you want to be in society is your choice. You have to step outside of the norm and step outside of the narrative that was already painted for you and start painting your own outlook. Or not. I mean, it's not my place to tell people how to feel. I don't know because I'm not in their shoes. I didn't grow through what they went through to experience what they experienced. He's coming to the door. Oh, okay. Why he looked like he was for a second because he thought you were undercover.
And I get that you don't. I mean, you can't experience what it is to be a Black woman. You know, it doesn't mean that you don't feel invisible. You know, I don't want to invalidate what you may be feeling. I can only speak to what I feel as a Black woman. What I feel, I've always felt invisible, and it's not necessarily just the plight of a Black woman. A woman in her home could feel overpowered by the patriarchy in her home.
Yes.
You know, she could feel like her voice isn't heard. You know, um, so it. I mean, I do believe that we are the most undervalued demographic. Black women are more undervalued and less protected than any other race or gender. That's just fact. We are underprotected, undervalued. There may be some that are anomalies, there. And I wanted to ask you about that, Katana. You said that that's not something that you dealt with, that you are seeing, you are heard. You don't feel invisible, and that's awesome that you don't, that you don't have that plight, you don't have that experience. But what would you say? Do you feel that that is the plight of the Black woman? Like
Absolutely,
most Black. So
absolutely. When it comes
what would you
to,
say? Huh?
go ahead. What would I say? What?
What would you say about that, or to a Black woman going through that?
Well, each situation is different, but I've noticed even in healthcare, they when you go to the doctor's office now, my children, my older children, they have been med techs and administering medication in different type, different settings in the hospital and nursing homes, and they have two sets of cabinets for medicine. Black people's medicine is in one cabinet. White America, light skinned America, uh, Russian America, any other any other race, their medicine is different. Their health insurance is different.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they wanna say that as a black woman in America, her prenatal needs are different from a white woman's prenatal needs. when their bodies operate the same, regardless
Yeah.
of color.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are women who have come to me that
Mm-mm. She was spilling that tea,
Yeah,
and
she
it
was.
cut her out.
I wonder if she knows that she's.
No, she don't. But she will once I remove her.
Dang it.
Wow. And and that's the truth too. The only difference between Crystal and myself is that her body needs more magnesium than me. And that has nothing to do with
Black
our
or white.
black or white. It's just that her makeup's different than mine, but our structure's still the same. So I worked in the medical field. I worked as a CNO for 19 years, and I also did a pharmacy tech. So I do believe what she's saying is to be true because I have seen it. I have seen the difference in the medicine. I have seen that they had their own.
That's crazy.
So
okay,
I
every
would
time I get a call that comes in, it takes my sound away. But the only thing that I don't impose myself on someone. I can't expect another woman to react or relate to things the way that I do. And a lot of times, women who I'm not going to say weaker or not as strong as me, but there's no like middle gauge. You either it's either yes or no, so to speak. There's no gray area. So they either receive me or they don't. But if you come to me with an issue and you think that I can help you with it, a lot of times it's a listening ear, not more so than me talking you to death or telling you what I would do. If you ask my opinion, what would you do in this situation? I'll give it. But I can't tell you what you need to do for you in this situation. So I can't identify with anyone being invisible when you got the same 24 hours, when you got the same blood and tissue and bone going through your body. You just have to find your voice. And a lot of times, if you are put yourselves in positions to where your voice won't be heard, you won't be heard. You got to
I
make a
got you.
decision to win. You got to make a decision that this is what you want to happen, and you got to see it through. So, more recently, I've been introduced to some different ways of accepting what the universe has for me, and my listening style is different. I am listening more so for the instruction of what I'm supposed to do, more so than delegating what I'm supposed to do. I can't map this out no more. It's my life, yes, but there's something higher than me, a higher presence that I'm listening for because I want to be successful. I want to be, and this is not financially successful. I'm talking about, I mean, I do, but this is, all encompassing me, making me a better person, making me a stronger person. Does that answer your question?
Gina. Gina, are you muted?
I can't hear
I
you.
don't know what you're doing. Gina, Gina, Gina.
So I'm gonna tell you, I
Uh,
got addicted to you. You can't be doing me like this.
Can
And
you
now that
hear me?
we can hear you now,
Now we can hear
Okay.
you.
You said you are addicted to me now?
like you girl, child, you can't be doing me like this.
I said
What
to
did I
her though,
do?
listen,
You,
when you were talking, I said to her, I said, "Don't you love her?" And she's like, "Yes." I said, "Don't you feel that she's amazing?" She's like, "Yes."
absolutely. Like I love it. I love it.
But Gina, did you hear what Katana said? Gina,
Can you
I don't
hear?
think Gina can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
okay.
Oh,
Did you hear what Katana said?
I heard her. Yeah, I heard all of it.
Okay, because she asked you if that answered your question.
Yep, I was answering, but I can hear you. Hello?
I love this podcast.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay, there we go. I don't know what was going on. I had a lot of feedback. But yes, I heard you. I did hear you. Um and I received that. I receive it. You know, you can only speak on what you know, or so I get that. I heard what she was saying about hearing, being a listening ear and not imposing her will. And I agree with that. And if you can't relate, we can't all relate to everything.
Mm-mm.
So I get that. I personally I I feel like I'm a strong woman. I
You are.
am.
You are.
But like you, I don't impose my will. When I say that, I choose to be unapologetically submissive.
Me too.
That's what I choose to be.
That's
And
strength
I
in
do,
itself.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Just to be able
Being a
to,
submissive, yes. Being submissive,
absolutely, absolutely.
unapologetically submissive
Mhm.
in situations means that you are putting everyone in front of you. That means that
Mhm.
the selflessness that you exude, that's strength in itself. And
Yeah,
before you can lead, you must learn to serve. So,
Yes.
absolutely.
Facts.
Mhm.
And
Facts.
that's me. That's part of my identity. I am a servant. I believe that I was put here to help others,
in a
to
supportive
support
role.
others, to love. I'm here
I'm a
to love.
servant. I'm a
That's
servant.
part of who I am. I just love people, and I don't need a reason to love you. I can love you even if you don't love me.
Facts.
That's just who I am.
Thank you.
It doesn't mean I have to deal with your foolishness.
Facts.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely. You
part of
better
my
say that.
growth. That's part of my growth. When you were asking, am I a different person? Has my face changed? I believe it
Mhm.
has.
Yeah.
I believe it has. I believe I am. Well, I know I'm a different person because and that was just part of me learning my identity and embracing who I am, embracing my power, embracing my light, embracing that I am, valuable, learning that and accepting that I am more than what I've been conditioned to believe about myself, what society, what
Absolutely.
men, what exes, what even sometimes your children,
Yeah.
Yep.
tell
It's
you who
it's
you
really
are,
nice. It's
you
really
know.
nice to be partnered. It's nice to be married. It's nice to,
Mm-hmm.
to be on the receiving end of the same thing that you give a person. But it's
Yeah,
also nice to have your individuality as well. It's also nice
absolutely.
for you to enjoy the things that you enjoy separate from anyone else, you
Yeah,
know, and
agree.
learning how to compartmentalize those things will suit you well.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to piggyback off the submission area. I be feeling like that kind of, I want to say I'm a giving, selfless person as well, but sometimes it annoys me because sometimes you get that little oops moment where you like, I done been giving and selfless to the wrong mf'er,
Yes.
and now you like, oh,
Yeah.
and you
Look,
want to
first
take
of all,
all that
sister, you
energy
still got too
back.
much of Peter in you. You still got too much of Peter in you. You Peter. So let me tell you something. You still got
Oh
Oh
snap!
God! But I I've redirected
It's
now,
time. Okay.
and when I say redirected, I how can I say this? I more so I know whom to give that energy to now.
Yes, yes, that part. That part.
And
And
when
that's
I know, and
yeah.
then I've been in a relationship and before, well, I was married for 15 years. And when I say I absolutely lost who I was, I did.
Yeah.
But now that I've grown through it, not going through it, gone through it, I grew through it. And baby, listen, the flower it smells good over here. So now I just know how to direct my energy to the right people, and I don't waste the energy that I have any longer.
Heard.
Because it, like I said in the beginning, it's so many people who want to misuse your energy.
Yeah.
And baby, when I tell you, when I'm submissive,
I
it,
see you,
you,
Krista.
you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's no stopping that person who I am. I will move mountains for the people that use my energy in not only a beneficial way, but in a way that is vice versa.
Heard. And I think that's what makes me a little different. Um, so I used to have this thing, and Kim and I were discussing this a few days ago. How sometimes a person could say that they've been used, and my thing is, if I'm giving myself, if I'm serving, you can't use me because this is
Yeah,
my identity. I was called to this position, so you can't take it from me with your bad intentions. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So the thing is, like in relationships, when we create these soul ties with people, when we have these relationships with people, the problem is when we decide to make them our god, and we start serving the person in a relationship that we're with over the person that we're meant to serve. That's when we lose ourselves. And I know that's how I ended up losing myself in these relationships, because I was serving the man that I was with and
yeah,
making him my God. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
that's when I lost myself. So after my last divorce, I had to relearn who I am and reclaim my identity. Relearn
hmm
who God says I am. You know, so
hmm
that's the journey that I'm on now.
hmm
And now I'm not, even if in society, they try to still they try to silence us and make us feel as if we
Yes,
are invisible, because I know who I am. I no longer feel like I'm that invisible one.
Yes.
So it goes back to what you were saying, Kim, about, and what you were saying, Katana, about how you have to, if you accept that role, if you accept what they're conditioning you to believe, then yeah, you will be invisible. So it took a lot for me to grow beyond that point to where I no longer feel, and I still struggle with it. Don't get me wrong, I still struggle with it. Sometimes I do feel like, hey, I'm not heard, I'm not valued, I'm not worthy. But I've grown a lot more than, you know, over the past few years, and I believe I'm being elevated to a different place, to a different office, you know.
Yes.
So yeah.
hmm
I see that for you too. I see that for you, and I'm honored, and I love that for you. I'm celebrating that with you, for you. I see that in you, and I'm proud of you for that. And the thing is, when I get to the point where I feel, because I tend to feel like I'm a bother to people, and when I get to the point where I feel like I'm bothered by people, or I'm a bother to people, I meant that I will pray, I will meditate and pray, I will take myself outside of my thought process and go within myself and pray, because that's not the case. That's just my mind playing games with me, the demons within me trying to come out and control me because I'm strong. So I have moments where I feel like I just bother people all the time, but I don't. I know I don't. No one's ever told me I bothered them, and I don't put myself into people's lives so much that I become that. So it's a problem with me, with self. So that's when I feel that way, I take myself outside of myself and pray.
Heard.
You know what I've learned, and this is what my podcast is going to be about on Tuesday and Thursday, is they try dividing us our whole lives. They try dividing us not just through race. They try divided us through sexes. They try dividing us through statures of poor and rich and stuff. There's always a thing that they're trying to divide us because they don't want us to come together as a collective whole. They don't
Action.
want us to come together as a unity, as one. And when we all realize that we are all connected, I really only surround myself around strength. I cannot surround myself around a place that I came from and healed from. I won't do that to myself. That's not in me. That's not for me. And that's not who I am. So I will not put myself in that situation. If you're not growing, we're not on the same frequency. I promise you. So with that being said, I only said that to say this, that it all is within self though. We cannot change how the path is written in this world. We cannot change it. And unless we all come together and focus on self and start loving self and putting the most high first. You have to put that before anything. And then once you put that before anything, everything else will come in place. But we have to realize what our purpose is here and what was our lesson and what is our mission.
Absolutely.
Katana, can you be heard? Uh-uh.
How many people are in here? Is it just the four of us?
Well, just, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, my simpatico, I think she was dealing with something with her baby. She has a little baby who's not a one yet until March. So the baby still breastfeeds and stuff. But you remember my simpatico, you listened to her music before?
I do.
How about now?
I can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me now? Okay. I mean, we it looks like we need to be wrapping up. It's 12 after 4. But do your internal work. I just want to close with this. Do your internal work. You definitely need to stand on business. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Stop doubting yourself. We as women, we always are going to ride for the ones that we love. Just be careful who you let in your driver's seat. Um, put things in a proper compartment. Learn how to compartmentalize. Keep stuff where it needs to be at. Enjoy what you can enjoy in that situation, and then leave it alone. Don't try to overlap them or make them. We're creators. We like to create different things, and we like to put our hands in things. Leave it alone. Whatever it's gonna be is gonna be, and you need to be okay with that. But once something dies and it regrows, it's not the same no more. It deserves to be new. You deserve to be new. You deserve to be strong.
Heard.
And Peter, stop being a thug,
It's,
Peter. I'm coming to your city, and I'm going to duplicate what we talked about in your city.
Sure. But I already
Yes.
know it in me.
Yeah, it's already in you. That's what I told you when I saw the results of your test. You got this. This natural for you.
Yeah.
Just got fine tune you. That's all.
Yep. So I want to close with we are no longer in we are no longer invisible lives. That is not for. That is not what we're made for. We create life, give life, so we will not any longer be invisible. It is all visible. You know, we want to close.
I love you, ladies. Have a great week, And I'll see you throughout the week, and we'll talk soon.
It was nice meeting you all. Kim, thanks for having me.
Oh, no, it's not. I want to know what you want to close with.
I can't hear you, sweetheart.
I want to know what you want to close with.
What I want to close with?
Yes.
Close with bye.
That's it.
No, you got out.
I was like, really?
Cut it
What
out.
is your closing speech? You
I don't.
stamp on this.
Yeah, I didn't prepare anything.
You don't have
Hair is
to.
already in you. What are you talking about?
What you
So
feel?
I guess I'll just close with you guys hit on some really great points. We are love. We are light, you know. We have to know our identity. We have to know who God created us to be. You know, we are children of the Most High, which means we are royalty. We are chosen, and He knows every hair. He has numbered every hair on our head. So, you know, that's just how precious and important we are to Him to have every single hair on our head numbered. You know, I don't think I can count the hairs on my hand. So to have every single hair on my head numbered, to be that precious and that important to him, you know, it don't matter what anybody else says. To silence us, we can't be silent. That's why they try to silence us as Black women, because we are, as Jabril said, we're greatness. That's what
Right?
we are. We are greatness. We are queens. You know,
Yes.
so accept that, embrace it, you know, yeah, and walk in your greatness, you know.
Every day.
What
Yeah.
if I message I want to close with is that I want to see divine energy coming from you. I want to see divine energy coming from any strong sister of mine that I represent as a part of me, because when you're not around, I'm still here and I mirror you. So I still am an example of who you are. And I want to instill in you that what you think in the society is not of you, because the Most High gave you a purpose and you're still here for a reason. So I want you to live in that light and walk in that light, because you are an advocate for a reason. You're an advocate of power, strength, and love. You are an advocate of the Most High. No one can take that from you. So
Right.
I love you, and I appreciate your presence in my life, and I want you to um, know how powerful you are. You may be invisible to others, but to us, you're not. So I want you to start walking in that light.
All right.
Absolutely, ma'am.
I want everybody's night be full of positive energy and high vibrations, and love thyself. The Most High is within us. It's for a reason we're still here. We're on the same frequency. So make a difference and let's be the difference.
Yep.
Ashe, everyone.
All right, my dears. Bye.
Great one.